Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of The Small Business Show. As kids across the country prepare to head back to school, 12-year-old entrepreneur Caden Harris is operating his business and preparing to be featured on an episode of A&E's new show, Big RV Remix. Caden, the CEO of Caden Teaches, has been teaching other kids financial literacy through his created kids-friendly products and raised money to convert a bus into a financial literacy center. And yes, he's 12 years old. On today's show, we are joined by Caden Harris and his parents, and also entrepreneurs, I should say, themselves, Dr. Sean J. Harris and Tara Harris. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, that's great. So let's start with you, Caden, since you're the star here. I mean, your story is so exciting. I know that there's so many people that want to jump right in here and hear your story. So what inspired you to start Caden Teaches?
Well, I would just go to business meetings with my dad, and when I would go to business meetings, I wouldn't understand what financial literacy was. So it took me through years of learning through what financial literacy was after going to business meetings with him. And I was able to create my very own financial products so that kids can learn financial literacy in an easier way throughout my financial flashcards, which is my first product.
Okay.
And after selling that, I was able to write my own book. And after the profits from selling that, I was able to create my own puzzle. So I would just keep recreating that process over and over until it eventually led me to creating my very own financial bus.
Wow, that is fantastic. So let me back up here a minute. When you say when I would sit in on business meetings with Dad, how old were you when you were sitting in on business meetings? That's not something most typical 10, 11, 12-year-old kids do, right?
Yes, I started at the age around 5 or 6, and I created my business when I was 7.
Okay, so Doctor, you've got to tell me what's the deal here? How did you say, hey, come on in here, we're gonna have a business meeting, and we'd really like our son to sit in on this?
Well, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My family actually owned the first 2 African-American owned hotels here in Atlanta.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So both my parents owned companies, so same thing, my dad would take me to business meetings, and I just started learning business acumen. So with the kids, I was like, hey, let's jump in the car, we would go to business meeting, speaking events, Chamber of Commerce meetings, and it just stuck.
Did other people that were in the meeting say, hey, what you brought your kid, what's going on here?
A lot of people wonder, it's like, why is he in here? He's pretty young, but I would always dress him professionally to fit the room.
Right.
So they saw that his seriousness and intent of wanting to learn was definitely genuine and something he really wanted to do.
That's right. And it sounds like you just took to it, right? And said, I'm interested in business. While most kids are out skateboarding and other things, you're going, no, I'm interested in building a company.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that. That's pretty cool.
Well, owning my very own business, I do miss a lot of birthday parties. And if I chose to, I could have decided that I wanted to stay in school instead of being homeschooled. But I decided that I wanted to be able to impact and inspire the next generation and put them first by going to schools instead of going to a normal school myself and just being a normal kid, which of course I still do get to be.
So you're both entrepreneurs yourself, right? So talk to us a little bit about that, would you?
Yes, we own a couple companies. My husband, when I met him, he was already an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And so I kind of just got on board. I figured that I was going to either have to get out of his way or become his assistant.
Right, right.
So I've learned a lot in the process, and we've been building businesses that gives us an opportunity to put our time back into our kids because we build systems that, can run on their own.
Yeah, talk to us about empowering your children. I know that you also have a daughter, right? And she's an entrepreneur as well. I guess we're going to have to do another follow-up show where another entrepreneur, another Harris is going to be opening up another company, right? Which is just fantastic. But talk to us about that.
Yes, Kennedy actually started her business first.
Okay.
And so there was a situation where she was taken from her school by misidentification. They were supposed to get another girl named Kennedy, but they got our Kennedy instead.
Really?
Yes. And so she went through a lot with that. Building her business actually helped her cope and be able to trust adults again.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. So take us back. What about I want to hear about the raising of the money to convert this bus into a financial literacy center. That is a very aggressive program, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, throughout it all, I was able to raise $50,000, and I had to do it in 2 months. And it was definitely a super hard process.
Sure.
And we had 2 weeks left to still raise a certain amount of money. But one thing that I learned throughout it all is that one of the biggest challenges is that I struggle dealing with people who don't have integrity, simply.
Yeah, sure.
Because I had to deal with a lot of people who said that they were going to do one thing but did others. But for example, there was a company that I was working with. We went on Zoom calls. They even brought me down to their office, and they said that they were going to make sure they did something to donate to my bus.
Right.
And after that day, I called them, texted them, emailed them, and still never got a response.
Yeah, that's too bad. Just a lot of wasted time. But it sounds like you did raise the money you needed.
I did.
Wow, that's fantastic. And how did you go about raising the money? Was it online, or what? How did you tell your story and then people said, we want to support this, or was it through the sale of products?
I went to a ton of conferences, a ton of business meetings. I did Zoom calls with people. Just every opportunity I got to meet someone who could help me, I would definitely make sure to tell about my bus. And that's how I was able to raise the money.
That's fantastic. Were there corporate sponsors involved? I mean, was that part of the raising the capital?
There were actually a lot of small businesses, most of
that
were small businesses that donated towards it. Yeah. So what we did was we offered them advertisement on the bus. So they have their logos on the bus.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a book on the bus that the kids go through to write checks and everything.
Right.
So their logos are in the books.
Gotcha.
So we had to make it to where it was good for them and Caden as well.
That's right. That makes total sense. Yeah. We interviewed the founder of Greenlight. You know this company that has the charge cards for kids?
Yes.
And he shared some statistics with us, which were just amazing. The number of children that are getting paid, getting paid cash for chores that they're doing around the house, and you can't find the money, and nobody knows where it went or anything else. And so that company was dedicated to helping kids, much like you're doing, understand finances and understand how to manage the money, right? That's so vitally important right now.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah.
Very important.
For sure. And especially as we see more people that are going into a credit card situation, they've got to understand how to use that. I understand you've got kind of an ATM built in the bus to show people how to use that.
Yes, I do. I make sure that I teach the kids when they get on the bus, they're able to learn how to earn, save, budget, and invest their money through my mock bank, where they're able to learn how to write a check and deposit and withdraw money. My mock grocery store, where they're able to learn how to have a family budget and learn what their parents do when they go grocery shopping.
Sure.
And I also have a mock stock exchange, where kids are able to learn how to invest in stocks and how the stock exchange works.
Oh my gosh. All on the bus.
Yes.
Wow. So what is the idea, that you take the bus around to either schools or camps or shopping centers, or is that the idea behind it?
Yes, it is. Okay. I've been to Boys and Girls Clubs, schools, just a ton of different places.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what is the business model behind it? Do you charge these organizations to bring the bus out, or do you sell your products through it? How does that work?
Yes, I charge them to bring the bus out.
Okay.
Sometimes the schools will have sponsors that'll pay for it, or sometimes they'll just pay for it themselves.
Sure.
So that's how the bus works.
Okay, and then you've got a box here. This is Caden's financial toolbox. Tell us about this.
Yes, so this is my financial toolbox that bundles most of my products.
Okay.
Some of my products inside of it consist of my budgeting puzzle here.
Okay.
It also has my financial flashcards here, which I mentioned earlier, which gives kids different financial terms.
Okay.
For example, they have words like loan, debt, just different things like that.
Yeah.
I have my activity book here,
Okay.
which teaches kids how to earn, save, budget, and invest their money in a fun way.
Great.
And I also have my book titled Caden's Rich Kid Guide, which gives kids tips to earn $10K under 10 years old.
Let me see that. Caden's Rich Kid Guide. There you go. I don't know if you got that, Chris, on the that's fantastic. I need one of those books. I need to learn how to make some money. But that is fantastic. So is this also available online?
Yes, it's available on my website at cadenteaches.com.
Okay, we're showing all the information on the screen here as to how to get a hold of Caden and get one of these toolboxes. This is incredible. What is the perfect, what's the age group that you're going after here? When should kids start to learn about money?
Well, I think that kids will be able to start to learn about money as soon as they're able to talk and be able to just be able to learn different flashcards and where they're able to grasp learning.
Right.
So that's the best time to teach financial literacy. But my target age group that I definitely excel in is through teaching 6th grade through, I would say, around 9th grade.
6th to 9th grade. Yeah.
Yes.
And do you find that kids really don't have about that point in time, they don't have an understanding of money the way they need to?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. That seems to be a problem, especially later in life, right? There's a lot of things that we get out in life. We've gone through school, maybe high school, or maybe even on to college, and we still haven't learned how to balance a checkbook, or how to, when to take out a loan, or when not to, or when to pay it off, or how credit works because of the different credit scores that are out there. But those things really mean a lot, right, to an individual's life,
Definitely.
Yeah. So, so how do you spend your summer? Just continue working on this project?
Yes, I did. But actually, for the first half of it, we went to spend our summer in Panama for a month. And after that, I came right back to business, where I had a bus visit. And actually, I'm having a partnership with Cummins where I'm getting a repower of my bus currently, where they're putting in a new engine. So that's a super exciting project that I actually have. And then, of course, my show on Hulu, which is coming out this Friday, actually.
So let's talk about that. What's the show about?
It's going to be telling about the remodel of my bus and how I was able to revamp it, and showing the behind the scenes and the struggles and frustration that we went through.
Of course, of course. So you said it needed a new engine?
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't need one. But Cummins, they offered it to him because one of his goals is to take a tour.
Okay.
A countrywide tour.
Wow.
So a new engine can do that, right?
Yeah. That's fantastic.
So that was a business deal that he actually worked out at a conference he was at.
That's fantastic.
He met with some of the representatives of Cummins engines.
Right.
So we explained, hey, we have a Cummins engine in the bus.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, look, let's collaborate and let's give them a repower of the bus.
That's great.
So it's an amazing project that we're working with in collaboration with Cummins.
Have other companies kicked in and said, we can do the seats and we can do the interior or anything like that, or that you still got to pay for that stuff?
Well, all the seats were actually taken out of the bus.
Okay.
So it's no longer a passenger bus.
True.
It has the banking center, the grocery store, and the stock exchange.
Okay.
But we do have some other sponsors that did collaborate with us to help us out with some of the projects as well.
I would imagine banks would want to jump in on this because there's so many opportunities there for young people to open up accounts and such, right?
Just partner with a bank. One of the things that's important, even though Caden at his age, he's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we also teach him to give back.
Yes.
So
yes, very important.
He's having a backpack giveaway.
Okay.
And he's partnered with a bank on that.
Wow, that's great.
So each backpack is going to have one of Caden's puzzles in it because he wants to share financial literacy as well.
Sure.
So they're filled backpacks. He's giving away 2 laptops.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So and it's also good business to give back because now everybody, it gives you that much more exposure to these kids that get the backpacks and go, what's this puzzle all about? I want to get a lot more of this stuff, right?
Yes.
So it's but it's great that you're doing that. No question about it.
Thank
Especially
you.
for the kids that are out there. So if we were sitting here 5 years from now, you'd be what, 13? No, I'm kidding. You'd be what, 17, 18?
Yes.
What are you doing at 18 years old? What does this whole thing look like?
Well, I actually have a goal to teach over 500,000 kids about financial literacy.
Okay.
But by then, I've imagined myself already passing that.
Okay.
By then, I definitely I'm going to be a millionaire.
Going to be. There's no question about it.
And I would love to have inspired a lot more kids about financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And another goal that I would love to have worked towards by then is to eventually franchise my business.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine if I could have 50 buses, one in each state.
That's right.
That would be amazing,
Wow,
right?
that is fantastic. We are speaking to a franchise expert later today. I'm going to run that idea by him. So I might take the idea myself and do the buses. But that's a great idea. There's no question about it. But at the end of the day, it's really all about Caden. You're the brand. I mean, you are the personality and kind of the celebrity, if you will, behind this whole brand. Do you continue to maintain that and want to be that as the company grows?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, because your story is incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, so people that see you are going to, I like this guy. He's going for it here. He's a young entrepreneur, and I want to buy anything that he's selling. I mean, that's really the best case with branding, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no question about it. So on the bus, will it have your face and your logos and everything right on the bus?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
It's super exciting to be able to just see my bus driving down the road with my face and my name and my company.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic. Are you in competition with your sister to say who's got a bigger company and who's doing better?
No, well, we actually don't. We actually like to help each other a lot with our companies.
Sure.
We actually help each other through interviews. Just like when we do interviews, we'll make sure to attend each other and give each other support. When we have events and the other one's not there, we make sure to mention the other one and give them support even while they're not there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That really is. Something like this, Caden's financial toolbox, it would seem to me that this is a perfect product that I should be able to go to Target or I should be able to go to Walmart and buy this for my kids and then buy all of the other products that you developed so that my kids can have fun learning about money, right?
Yes.
Are we negotiating a Target deal yet or a Walmart deal?
That's one of the deals we're working on now.
I knew it. There you go.
To be able to get the products in the stores. Both kids have products that they want to put in stores.
Sure.
We actually connected with Target at that same conference where we met Cummings.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So
that's great.
Major corporations like that could actually help Caden to be able to enter into stores.
Yeah.
We greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, there's maybe one of them's listening right now,
Yes.
but whatever big retailer jumps on this deal, jumps on the bus, no pun intended, but jumps on Caden's bus and is going to be first to market with this. But this is a phenomenal brand, a phenomenal story. You wouldn't be anything if your parents didn't support you, right? You have phenomenal parents too. I don't know if you know that, right? And they're also your teachers, right?
Yeah.
So there's no telling them that the dog ate the homework because they know better, right? Well, the Harris family, thank you so much, Caden Harris, Dr. Sean J. Harris, and Tara Harris. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. This has really been a pleasure. I know we're probably going to get a lot of emails about this going, get that kid back in because we want to know what's going on in the future. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
And as I like to always in my interviews, and remember, if Caden can, you can too.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim Fitzpatrick.